They stood at the gate like ghosts from another world. Marcus, 14, and his little sister Emma, 11, appeared outside the Iron Phoenix Motorcycle Club on a freezing March evening. Torn jackets hung from their thin shoulders. Fresh bruises painted Emma's cheek purple and yellow. Older scars marked Marcus's forearms. Their eyes carried exhaustion no child should know, but they didn't beg. They didn't cry. Marcus squared his shoulders, pulled Emma close and called out to the men working on bikes in the garage. "We need work. Anything honest? I can lift, clean, fix things. She's smart with organizing, cooking, small tasks. We're serious. We want to change our lives." The sound of wrenches stopped. Engines went silent. 8 bikers turned to stare at these 2 kids standing in the rain like soldiers reporting for duty. Bear, the club's sergeant-at-arms, 6'4", Navy SEAL tattoo across his chest, beard like steel wool, walked to the gate slowly. His boots crunched gravel. He'd seen desperate people before. Addicts, thieves, liars. But these kids, something different burned in their eyes. Not desperation, determination. Fear mixed with fierce, stubborn hope. "You're soaked," Bear said, his voice rough as sandpaper. "Get inside. Now." Marcus hesitated. "We're not asking for charity. We work. You pay fair. That's all." Bear's jaw tightened. This kid, barely tall enough to reach his chest, was negotiating like a man. "Inside," he repeated. "We'll talk." The siblings walked through the gate together. Emma's small hand gripped Marcus's like a lifeline. Her fingernails were dirty, bitten down to nothing. The club's common room smelled like coffee, motor oil, and cigarettes. Leather couches lined the walls. Motorcycle parts covered a long table. Photos of rides, fallen brothers, and charity events hung everywhere. Sarah, the club manager and Bear's wife, appeared from the kitchen. Her eyes widened at the sight of the children. Without a word, she brought 2 thick blankets, hot chocolate, and sandwiches stacked high with turkey and cheese. "Eat first," she said softly. "Then we talk." Marcus and Emma ate like they'd learned to, slowly, carefully, making every bite last, like people who never knew when the next meal would come. Sarah watched them, her hand covering her mouth. Bear saw tears forming in her eyes. When they finished, Bear sat across from them. Diesel and Wrench, 2 other club members, stood nearby. Diesel was a former cop. Wrench ran a legitimate auto shop in town. Both had seen too much of the world's darkness. "Tell me everything," Bear said. "No lies. We can handle truth. We can't handle lies." Marcus took a breath. His voice cracked but held steady. "We ran away 6 months ago. Our foster dad, Richard Crane, he wasn't good to us. Locked us in the basement for days, no food, hit us for small mistakes. Emma got sick once and he wouldn't take her to the hospital. Said we cost too much already." Emma's hand trembled, holding the hot chocolate. She stared at the floor. "Social services placed us there 2 years ago," Marcus continued. "After our mom died. No dad in the picture. Mr. Crane seemed nice at first, but once the paperwork cleared, everything changed. He had 4 other foster kids, used our benefit money for himself, made us work his yard, clean his rental properties. When we couldn't do enough, he—" Marcus pulled up his sleeve. Cigarette burns dotted his forearm in neat rows. Sarah gasped. Bear's fists clenched so hard his knuckles went white. "We ran," Marcus said. "Lived in a tent by the river. Did odd jobs. Carrying groceries, washing car windows, returning carts. Saved every dollar. But winter came. Emma got pneumonia. I took her to a free clinic. They asked questions. We ran again before they could call anyone. We can't go back. We won't." If this story is touching your heart, don't forget to subscribe to Road Motorcycle Diaries, because sometimes the best journeys aren't on the road. They're in the lives we choose to change. "Where'd you sleep last night?" Diesel asked, his cop instincts kicking in. "Old warehouse on Sullivan Street," Marcus said. "Cardboard boxes for beds. There's a hole in the fence." "You came here because—" Wrench asked. Marcus looked each man in the eye. "We watched you for 3 weeks. You help people. Last month you fixed that veteran's wheelchair for free. You donated bikes to the children's hospital auction. You don't just ride and party, you care. So I thought, maybe you'd give us a chance, not charity, work, dignity." Silence filled the room like church on Sunday morning. Bear stood, walked to the window, stared at the rain hammering the parking lot. His own childhood flashed through his mind. Foster homes, beatings, running away at 15. He'd found salvation in the Marines. Later, in this club, brotherhood, purpose, family by choice. "You'll start tomorrow," Bear said, turning around. 7 a.m. sharp. Marcus, you'll work the garage with Wrench, learn mechanics, inventory, cleaning. Emma, you'll help Sarah with the office, kitchen, events planning. We pay minimum wage, cash, every Friday. But there are rules. Marcus nodded eagerly. Emma's eyes went wide. Rule 1, no lying, ever. Rule 2, you go to school, we'll figure out how. Rule 3, you sleep here until we sort this mess out legally. We've got a spare room upstairs. Rule 4, you tell us if anyone comes looking for you, especially Crane. Deal, Marcus said, standing up fast. He extended his hand. Bear shook it. The kid's grip was firm despite the trembling. That night, Marcus and Emma slept in real beds for the first time in half a year. Clean sheets, warm blankets, a locked door they controlled from the inside. Emma cried herself to sleep, not from sadness but from relief, so overwhelming it hurt. Marcus lay awake, staring at the ceiling, listening to his sister's breathing even out. For the first time since their mother's funeral, he let himself hope. But at 3:17 a.m., headlights swept across the window. A truck pulled into the parking lot. Marcus recognized it instantly. Richard Crane had found them. Marcus flew out of bed, heart hammering like a war drum in his chest. He shook Emma awake, clamping his hand gently over her mouth before she could scream. "He's here," Marcus whispered. "Stay quiet. Stay behind me." Through the window, they watched Richard Crane step out of his Ford F-150. Same cold eyes, same cruel mouth twisted in anger. He wore his respectable citizen costume. Khakis, button-down shirt, clean-shaven face. The mask he showed social workers and judges. But Marcus knew the monster underneath. Crane marched toward the clubhouse door like he owned the place. His fist pounded the wood hard enough to rattle the frame. "I know they're in there. Marcus! Emma! Get out here now! You've got 5 seconds before I call the police." Downstairs, Bear was already awake. He'd been a light sleeper since Fallujah. Sarah stood beside him, phone in hand. Diesel and Wrench appeared from their rooms, pulling on jackets. Bear opened the door 6 inches. His body filled the gap like a mountain. "It's 3 a.m. You're trespassing. Leave." "Those are my kids," Crane snarled. "I'm their legal guardian. I've been looking for them for months. They're troubled. They run away. They lie. I'm taking them home where they belong." "Funny," Diesel said, stepping into view, "because I just ran your name through the system. You've got 4 other foster kids currently placed with you. That's the legal maximum in this state. So Marcus and Emma, they couldn't possibly be yours right now. Math doesn't work." Crane's face reddened. "I have paperwork." "I'm sure you do," Bear interrupted. "But those kids told us things tonight, showed us things. Cigarette burns, bruises in different stages of healing, malnutrition. And you know what's interesting? We documented everything. Photos, written statements, video recordings, all time-stamped, all backed up to the cloud." "You can't keep them," Crane shouted. "I'll have the police here in 5 minutes." "Please do," Sarah called from behind Bear. "Call them. I've already contacted Child Protective Services. They're sending an emergency investigator at 8 a.m. You're welcome to wait." Crane's eyes darted between the bikers. He was used to intimidating children, used to people looking away from uncomfortable truths. But these men didn't look away. They stepped forward. Wrench cracked his knuckles. Diesel crossed his arms. Bear just stared, silent and immovable. "This isn't over," Crane hissed. "Those kids are damaged goods, liars. They'll turn on you too, you'll see." He stormed back to his truck, tires screaming as he peeled out of the parking lot. Upstairs, Emma was shaking so hard her teeth chattered. Marcus held her, his own hands trembling. "He's gone," Marcus whispered. "They didn't let him in. Emma, they didn't let him in." Bear appeared in the doorway moments later. "You're safe. He's gone. But we need to move fast now. He'll come back with lawyers, maybe corrupt social workers he's paid off. We've got maybe 12 hours to build an unbreakable case." The next morning, the Iron Phoenix became a war room. Diesel called his former partner still on the force. She owed him for taking a bullet meant for her in 2019. Within an hour, she pulled Crane's full history. 3 previous foster homes closed under suspicious circumstances in different counties. 2 complaints filed, then mysteriously dropped. A pattern of moving every 18 months, always staying 1 step ahead of investigations. Sarah contacted a lawyer friend who specialized in child advocacy, pro bono. She arrived by 9 a.m. with a briefcase full of emergency custody documents. Wrench took Marcus and Emma to a pediatrician who documented every injury. Cigarette burns, 12 on Marcus, 7 on Emma. Healed fractures in Emma's wrist that had never been properly set, malnutrition markers, evidence of chronic stress. By noon, they had a case file 3 inches thick. The emergency CPS investigator, a tired woman named Patricia Morales with 20 years in the system, sat across from Marcus and Emma in Sarah's office. She'd seen everything. She was hard to impress. But when Marcus spoke, voice steady, eyes clear, facts presented without drama, Patricia's professional mask cracked. "He locked us in the basement for 72 hours once," Marcus said. "Emma was 8. She cried so much she lost her voice. He said we were learning discipline. When we came out, he made us thank him for the lesson." Emma, sitting beside her brother, added quietly, "He told us nobody would believe us because we were system kids, broken, unwanted. He said if we reported him, we'd just get sent somewhere worse. He said we were lucky he even took us." Patricia's pen stopped moving. She looked at these children, Marcus sitting protective and alert, Emma small but finding courage in her brother's presence, and saw something she rarely encountered: truth without embellishment, pain without performance. "Do you want to go back to Mr. Crane's home?" Patricia asked, though she already knew the answer. "No, ma'am," Marcus said firmly. "We'd rather live in that warehouse again." "What do you want?" Marcus glanced at Emma. She nodded. "We want to stay here, with them. They treat us like people, like we matter. They gave us work, not pity, respect, not charity. If you can't let us stay, then put us somewhere far away from Crane. Another state if possible." Patricia closed her notebook. "I'm placing you in emergency foster care with Bear and Sarah Henshaw, pending full investigation. Mr. Crane's custody of all children is suspended immediately. My office will conduct a full audit of his previous placements." Emma burst into tears. Marcus's shoulders sagged with relief so profound he couldn't speak. That afternoon, Crane showed up again, this time with a lawyer. They were met at the gate by Patricia Morales, 2 police officers, and a restraining order. "You're done," Patricia said coldly. "Walk away now or face criminal charges. Your choice," Crane's lawyer whispered urgently in his ear. After a long moment they left, but Marcus couldn't shake the feeling in his gut. He'd seen that look in Crane's eyes before, right before things got really bad. Over the next 3 weeks, Marcus and Emma settled into a rhythm that felt like a miracle. Wake at 6:30, breakfast together, school, enrolled through emergency hardship placement, homework, work at the club, dinner with Bear and Sarah, bed by 9:30. Marcus learned to rebuild carburetors under Wrench's patient teaching. Emma discovered she had a gift for organizing events. The club's annual charity ride raised 40% more money with her planning. They laughed. They slept without nightmares. They started to heal. But healing isn't linear. One night, Emma woke up screaming. Sarah ran to her room and held the little girl while she sobbed about basements and darkness and hunger. Marcus appeared in the doorway, his own face haunted. "Will it ever stop hurting?" Emma asked through tears. Sarah brushed hair from her face. "The pain changes shape, becomes smaller, but you'll always remember, and that's okay. What happened to you matters. How you survived matters. You're not broken, sweetheart, you're warriors." If these 2 kids' courage is inspiring you, hit that subscribe button for Road Motorcycle Diaries. Let's build a community that believes in second chances and never looks away from people who need help. Your subscription matters. 6 weeks after that first rainy night, the court hearing arrived. Marcus and Emma, dressed in new clothes bought by Sarah, sat in the courthouse waiting room. Bear and Diesel flanked them like guards. Patricia Morales reviewed documents. The club's lawyer checked her watch. Then the doors opened. Richard Crane walked in with his attorney and 2 character witnesses, and Marcus recognized one of them, the social worker who'd originally placed them in Crane's care. His stomach dropped. Emma gripped his hand. "Marcus!" "It's okay," he lied. "We've got truth on our side." But as they walked into the courtroom, and Marcus saw the judge's stern face and Crane's confident smile, a terrible thought crept in. What if truth isn't enough? The courtroom smelled like old wood and fear. Marcus held Emma's hand so tight his fingers went numb, but he couldn't let go. Across the aisle, Richard Crane sat with perfect posture, playing the role of concerned guardian. His lawyer, a sharp woman in an expensive suit, shuffled papers with practiced confidence. Judge Catherine Morrison, 57 years on the bench, surveyed the room with eyes that had seen every lie humanity could manufacture. She was known for 2 things: intolerance for games and fierce protection of children's welfare. "This is an emergency custody hearing," Judge Morrison began. Mr. Crane, you're contesting the temporary placement of Marcus and Emma Reeves with Bear and Sarah Henshaw. You claim these children were illegally removed from your care, correct? Yes, Your Honor, Crane said, voice dripping with false concern. I've been frantic with worry. These children have behavioral issues, a history of running away, fabricating stories for attention. I've provided them a stable home for 2 years. I've been searching desperately since they disappeared. His lawyer stood. Your Honor, Mr. Crane has impeccable references. He's fostered 17 children successfully over 8 years. He's a deacon at his church, volunteers at the food bank, has never had a substantiated complaint. These children, sadly, have attachment disorders from their mother's death. They've run from every placement. This is a pattern. Marcus felt his chest tighten. The lies sounded so reasonable, so official. But Patricia Morales stood up, and her voice cut through the room like steel. Your Honor, I've investigated Mr. Crane thoroughly. What his lawyer calls no substantiated complaints is actually 2 closed investigations in different counties where witnesses mysteriously recanted. Children who suddenly claimed they'd misunderstood or exaggerated. What they call 17 successful placements include 6 children who aged out of the system with no follow-up, 3 who were transferred under vague circumstances, and 4 currently in his home, the legal maximum, which means Marcus and Emma couldn't legally be his to begin with. She placed a thick folder on the judge's bench. Medical records, photos of injuries, timeline analysis showing injuries occurred while in Mr. Crane's care, written statements from Marcus and Emma, consistent across multiple interviews, character testimonies from the Iron Phoenix Motorcycle Club, including background checks, showing several members with law enforcement and military backgrounds. Judge Morrison opened the folder. Her face remained neutral, but her jaw tightened as she reviewed the photos. Cigarette burns, bruises, Emma's poorly healed wrist fracture. Mr. Crane, the judge said quietly, these burns are consistent with punishment, not accident. Your Honor, his lawyer interjected, children in crisis sometimes self-harm for attention. Don't. Judge Morrison's voice could have frozen fire. Don't insult this court's intelligence. I've seen self-harm, I've seen abuse. These are not the same. She turned to Marcus and Emma. I'd like to hear from you both. Marcus, can you tell me why you ran away? Marcus stood. His legs shook, but his voice held firm. This was the moment everything either changed or stayed the same forever. Your Honor, I ran because staying meant dying. Not physical death, though sometimes it felt close, but dying inside. Mr. Crane told us every day that we were worthless. System trash. That nobody wanted us, nobody would believe us, and we should be grateful he even kept us. He locked us in the basement for days as punishment. No food, no bathroom, just darkness. Emma's voice joined his, small but clear. He burned Marcus with cigarettes when he didn't do chores fast enough. 16 times. Marcus counted. When I broke my wrist falling off the ladder cleaning his gutters, he wrapped it in duct tape and told me to stop crying. It healed crooked. The doctor here said it'll need surgery to fix properly. Tears streamed down her face, but she kept talking. We ran because we had to, and we didn't lie for attention. We just wanted to survive. These people, she pointed at Bear and Sarah, they're the first adults since our mom died who treated us like we mattered, who listened, who saw us. The courtroom went silent. Crane's lawyer started to object, but Judge Morrison raised her hand. I'm not finished. She looked at Bear and Sarah. Mr. Henshaw, I see you're former military, Navy SEAL. Your wife manages the motorcycle club. You've provided emergency housing, enrolled the children in school, obtained medical care, and offered employment. Why? Bear stood, 6'4" of tattooed muscle, but when he spoke, his voice was gentle. Your Honor, I aged out of foster care at 18. No family, no support. I know what these kids are living. I joined the Marines because I had no other option. I got lucky, found brotherhood, purpose, a path. These kids showed up asking for work, not handouts. They wanted dignity. How could I say no? My club brothers and I were not perfect, but we know family isn't just blood. It's who shows up, who stays, who fights for you. Sarah added, we're not trying to replace their mother. We're trying to give them what every child deserves. Safety, love, a chance to heal. Emma helps me plan our charity events. Marcus is learning mechanics from Wrench. They're brilliant, kind, resilient kids who got dealt a terrible hand. We want to be their permanent family if they'll have us. Judge Morrison looked at the social worker, who'd originally placed the children with Crane. "Ms. Fletcher, you're here as a character witness for Mr. Crane. Do you still support that placement?" The woman, pale and nervous, glanced at Crane. He stared at her with cold authority. She opened her mouth, closed it. Seconds ticked past like years. Finally, she whispered, "No, Your Honor. I was wrong. I missed the signs. I'm sorry." Crane shot to his feet. "This is a witch hunt. Those bikers have manipulated everyone. They're criminals." "Sit down, Mr. Crane," Judge Morrison ordered. "I've reviewed the backgrounds, clean records, military service, business licenses, tax returns. They're more qualified than you've proven to be." She turned to her clerk. "Permanent custody is hereby transferred to Bear and Sarah Henshaw, pending completion of standard foster certification within 60 days. Mr. Crane, you are permanently barred from fostering. CPS will investigate your current placements immediately. You're also facing potential criminal charges for child abuse. We're done here." The gavel struck. Emma collapsed into Sarah's arms, sobbing. Marcus stood frozen until Bear's hand landed on his shoulder. Gentle, solid, real. "You're ours now," Bear said. "For good." Marcus finally let himself cry. 2 years later, Marcus, now 16, stood in the Iron Phoenix garage, wearing his own club prospect vest, Phoenix Familiar, stitched across the back. He'd just finished rebuilding his first complete engine. Wrench inspected it with a critical eye, then broke into a rare smile. "Perfect, kid. You've got the gift." Emma, 13, sat in the office with Sarah, coordinating the club's annual charity ride that now raised money for foster children. Her spreadsheets were color-coded perfection. She'd been accepted into a gifted program at school. The crooked wrist had been surgically repaired. She'd regained full movement. Both kids were in therapy. Both still had nightmares sometimes, but they also had birthdays celebrated with cake and presents, report cards hung on the fridge with pride, a family dinner table where laughter lived. Richard Crane was serving 6 years for child abuse and fraud. 4 other children had been removed from his care. 3 were now in loving homes. The social worker, Miss Fletcher, had resigned and was testifying against him, trying to make amends. On the 2-year anniversary of that rainy March night, the Iron Phoenix held a celebration. Marcus and Emma stood before the assembled club, 20 bikers, their families, friends, and 3 other foster kids the club had helped place safely. Bear raised his glass. 2 years ago, 2 brave kids showed up at our gate asking for work. Not pity, not rescue, just a chance. They taught us that family doesn't start with perfect people. It starts with people who choose to show up, who choose to see, who choose to care. Emma stood on a chair so everyone could see her. "We came here broken, but you didn't try to fix us. You just gave us space to heal, tools to grow, and love without conditions. You proved that blood doesn't make family. Choice does. Loyalty does. Love does." Marcus added, "We're starting a foundation, the Phoenix Rising Project. We're going to find kids like us, kids in the cracks, kids asking for chances, and connect them with people like you, because no child should have to beg for basic dignity, and no good person should miss the chance to change a life." The room erupted in applause. Later that night, Marcus and Emma stood at the same gate where they'd arrived 2 years earlier. Rain fell softly, just like that first night. But this time, they stood on the inside, looking out. "You think we would have survived without them?" Emma asked quietly. Marcus put his arm around his sister. "I think we would have survived. We're survivors. But surviving isn't living. They gave us living. They gave us home." Emma smiled, leaning into her brother. "You know what the best part is?" "What?" "We get to do this for other kids now. We get to be the ones who see them." Marcus nodded. "Yeah, we do." They turned back toward the clubhouse. Through the windows they could see their family. Bear teaching a new foster kid how to change oil, Sarah decorating for someone's birthday, Wrench and Diesel arguing good-naturedly about carburetors. Their family, chosen, fought for, real. 2 kids who'd stood in the rain asking for work had found something immeasurably more valuable. They'd found home, and now they'd spend their lives making sure other kids found it too. Because sometimes, family begins with a desperate question at a gate. Sometimes it begins with people who choose to answer. And sometimes, just sometimes, the broken pieces come together into something beautiful. Subscribe to Road Motorcycle Diaries if this story moved you. Hit that like button. Drop a comment telling us, would you open your gate? Would you choose to see? Join our community of people who believe in second chances, chosen family, and the power of showing up. Because every subscription, every share spreads this message further. No child should be invisible. No plea for dignity should go unanswered. Thanks for watching. Ride safe. Love harder.